Hey homeschoolers, I'm Melissa Webb, former full-time classroom teacher and homeschool mom turned full-time business CEO. I am determined and dedicated to helping you. Yes, I want to give you sound, educational, practical tips and advice, at the same time making sure that you're enjoying the family journey that you are on. So if you are looking for a place to be encouraged and inspired, you have found the perfect podcast. Homeschooling is a work of heart, is truly the perfect place to start. So welcome. Let's jump in. Well, hello there, friends. Oh my goodness, let me just tell you, it has been such a busy start for this newest semester of ours. I have been traveling and visiting multiple schools. I've hosted webinars, led workshops. I've met so many amazing homeschooling families. It is exciting. And I just see the homeschooling community grow and grow and grow. And I love the enthusiasm and this determined mindset that so many of you have. I also love getting to have in-person conversations with you. And so, hello, if you are a new listener who I recently had the privilege of meeting, I am so glad you are here. And of course, I've got to give big hugs to all of you returning people who tune in every single week and then tell me great things. I just love you. So here's a question for everyone. How do you feel about deadlines? Those two words, do now. I mean, we do live with deadlines. I don't think we can get away from having deadlines. They are a societal norm. The first thing that comes to my mind, tax day. Is that the first thing you thought of when you're like deadlines? April 15th. Enrolling in a course, that is a close second in my world. We have deadlines, then we close the doors. If you've ever missed a ride or a flight, you know deadlines are a real thing. And I do not think of deadlines as being something that is restrictive. I don't put those two together, but I know a lot of people do. And I've heard homeschooling families say, we homeschool for the freedom and the flexibility, and I don't give my kids any deadlines. I just let them work at their pace. But I just want to suggest that you reconsider that. And I have a few good reasons why. The thing is, deadlines are not restrictive. They're a part of the rhythm of life. And it is through deadlines that we become more responsible and in many cases, more successful. So I have always given deadlines to my students when it comes to writing. They get a month to write an essay. But a couple of years back, a few parents talked me into lifting deadlines for a year and just letting these busy homeschoolers have more flexibility and the freedom that they've been wanting. They didn't like my deadlines. And I kept saying no. And then it got to me this one year. I'm like, okay, we'll try it. We'll try it for a year. And let me just tell you what I learned. In the end, a year later, I saw far less productivity. We went from the previous year, we had a 90th percentile completion rate, which meant our students, 90% of them, is actually a little over 90%, completed 6 essays a year. The year that I said, hey, get it done when you can, and I would send reminders like, normally this is when it's due. Are you ready to turn it in? We dropped from the 90th percentile rate to a 55% completion rate. This was eye-opening. And even those moms were like, got it. This didn't work. We came up with all kinds of reasons why we couldn't get it done. Versus when it was a deadline, it became a priority. Yep. And you better believe I am back to placing firm deadlines on all my assignments. I am never going back to freedom and flexibility, not when it comes to writing assignments. And I remind my students, hey, I give you deadlines, but they are not a punishment. They are goal markers. That's all a deadline is. It's a goal marker. It helps my students experience success. It helps them stay on track. It helps them feel accomplished. They're checking the boxes. They're getting it done. That feels good. So I thought in today's episode, I would just quickly cover 3 reasons why I strongly encourage deadlines for all students, yes, even the homeschooled ones. So if in the past you have refrained from giving your kids deadlines, why not consider, you don't have to stay with it if you don't love it, but I just want you to consider the 3 points I want to make. Give it a shot, maybe just for a semester, and then see for yourself. I think you could be impressed by how much more quality and quantity is achieved when you put deadlines in place. And I think there's 3 reasons why. Number 1, I strongly believe that deadlines teach children time management skills. Kids are great procrastinators, aren't we all? If we don't have structure, and especially if our kids do not have structure, they don't get things done. But if we give them a deadline, we are giving them structure. And that will help them learn to plan backward, to pace themselves. So for example, in our writing programs, all of our writing programs come with a calendar because I think 1 month to write 1 essay is 100% reasonable. We have week 1, that's preparation week. There are usually 8 to 10 things they need to be doing that week, and they have 5 days to get it done. So when we give them their monthly calendar, we say, take a look at the family calendar and then look at the writing calendar. And they have the flexibility to decide what days of the week they're going to get whatever is done or whatever is assigned in the little box. In the little box, it has the thing we want them to check off. If they see that this upcoming Friday, they're going to be on a field trip, then Friday isn't a day they're going to work on writing. So now they have to assign their work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So they might have to double up on Thursday so that they get everything done for the week. That's the planning part. If they didn't have a deadline, if I'm like, just get to it when you can, they would not be learning how to manage their time. They would just put it off because that's what humans do. This is something that Harvard has studied, probably with the millions of dollars they've received from federal funding over the years. But they discovered that executive function, and what they mean by executive function, that means planning. That means organizational skills. That means self-monitoring. Those are all considered executive functions of the brain. So those skills develop with practice. We have to practice those things: planning, organization, self-monitoring. And when we develop those, they predict academic success or struggles. So that's kind of important. We want our kids to be successful. We need to teach them how to develop these executive functions of planning, organization, and self-monitoring. Deadlines help with that. Keep in mind, deadlines come in all shapes and sizes. You could have a deadline, and I'm sure so many of you do, these little very tiny deadlines like, hey, you better get that math done before the end of this day. You can't do any video gaming until this math is done. So that's a deadline for sure, as long as you stick to it. But sometimes our children can wear us down. How often does your child convince you to give in just a little bit? Pay attention. Kids are smart at avoiding deadlines or extending deadlines. So just really pay attention to that over the next couple of weeks. Now, bigger projects should have smaller mini check-in deadlines. Like I said, we give 4 weeks to write an essay, but I say this week, I want you to get this 25% of what we're doing. I break it down for them. And I know if they get that done, they're never going to feel like it's all piled on at the last minute. Okay, so however you do your deadlines, you have options, but find what works. The second thing I want you to consider is that Deadlines are great for boosting motivation and also accountability. So I want us to think for a second of a race. If you ever run track and field, for example, imagine the lines and everybody's in their line and they run to a finish line. Everybody is lined up and they have their running space and they see the finish line and off they go. They know exactly, those runners know exactly where they're supposed to go and for how long. We need to give clear finish lines to our kids, and deadlines do that. Imagine a race with no track, field, boundaries, just an open space. Kids would be running all over the place. They'd never know when they were supposed to stop. We would just be creating chaos and havoc. We need to give our kids the line in which they run and the ending spot. It really will boost their motivation because they know where they're going, and it helps us hold them accountable that they stay in their lane. Deadlines also give us a natural sense of accomplishment. It feels good when we accomplish a deadline. I don't know about you, but I love when I can check off boxes. I'm like, done, done, done. It feels so good. It's like I met that deadline. There's just something about the brain. Studies have shown it actually increases the natural feel-good chemical in our brain, dopamine. There is something to it. Human beings are more motivated with clear, specific goals. And I want you just to think about your own life for a second, right? Do you put things on a calendar? Maybe you have a family calendar, maybe you have a desk calendar, a wall calendar. When you put things on your calendar for you, like maybe schedule the dentist appointments by this Friday, or send invitations to Josh's upcoming birthday party, or host a girlfriend's tea party, how motivated would you have been to make the call, check the calendar, buy the party supplies, get the windows cleaned, had you not given yourself a clear finish line? When we see, oh, I've got to do that by Friday. Oh, I need to have that done by next week. Oh, I only have 3 weeks to get ready for this. It puts everything else in our lives in place, and it helps us prioritize the most important things. Lastly, believe it or not, deadlines reduce stress. Some people are like, no, deadlines increase stress. It's actually not true. It's been proven to be the opposite. Now, the people who feel like a deadline is increasing their stress are those wonderful people we call procrastinators because they probably haven't had little mini deadlines, and now whatever big thing was looming that's now due tomorrow does feel heavy. So I'm not saying you can't feel stressed from them, but I want you to think of the fact of setting it up in a way that you've been doing the mini deadlines so that you never get to that point. I know that many parents worry that deadlines cause pressure or put pressure on their children, maybe because that's how they felt. But it really is the opposite when it's framed positively. And the reason why is because when there's a deadline, you're putting some predictability into your child's life. Oh, look, we have 5 days to get these 9 things done. That's predictable. I have 5 days, 9 things. We should be doing 2 things a day. And then on that last day, we'll only have 1 thing to do. All of a sudden, our children can know what's expected of them, and they can spread that work out over time, and it eliminates the rush mentality. So if you're a procrastinator or you have a kiddo that's a procrastinator, this is something that would be wonderful to work on this year. Try to break things down into smaller pieces. I don't know how many of you collect materials and share all of your progress at school meetings or class meetups, but I know plenty of families who the night before are yelling, come on, we have to have all this ready. We have to show this at our next meeting. And that does feel stressful. But that's only because there were not little mini deadlines up to this deadline. So keep in mind, bigger projects are going to need more short-term deadlines. If those mini deadlines had been put in place, that stress could have been dramatically decreased. So I just want to encourage you, why not reframe deadlines as something positive and make as many mini deadlines as you have to. In fact, I even love the idea of making mini deadlines followed by mini parties. If you don't know by now, I love a good reason to celebrate. I am all about celebrating life. I want to be part of a good time every day. And so mini due date, mini deadline, ta-da, we're going to do a mini party. And it's mini, I mean small. Like it could just be, hey, awesome, you got that done, 5 minutes of free time for you. It could be high fives. It could be, what, snack break. It could be, go to the treasure box. I just got some great stuff from the dollar store. It could be your family has a bell, and as soon as a child gets something finished, they get to go ring the bell. And so everybody knows, oh, they just met a deadline. You could have a sticker chart. And so you get to go add a sticker. You get the idea. Why would we do that? Because when meeting a deadline and checking a box, it feels like a celebration. It's something good in our brain that's happening with that extra hit of dopamine. So play with it. And all of a sudden, your kids will start to connect these two things. I get things done and I feel great. Ooh, I got something else done. I feel amazing. We would love to see those two things always stay connected, right? I want to remind you that deadlines are a gift, not a burden. Deadlines will help your children build better habits, have a stronger level of confidence in what they can do, what they can accomplish, and build resilience too. So as you embark on a new semester, my friend, I just want to encourage you to embrace deadlines. Give it a try. See them as a marker of growth, not any kind of limitation or restriction. And please let me know how this goes for you. I would love to know, what ideas did this stir in you? I already know you're creative and imaginative. You already had some thoughts. You're like, I could do this. Ooh, maybe we could try that. Oh, maybe, I know that's how your brain works. So you got to share with me what came up for you. Come on over to the socials, Instagram, Facebook, come find me. I will be excited to celebrate with you. Right on. Well, thanks so much for tuning in and listening this week. Hey, if this was something that you found valuable, don't forget you want to subscribe or follow so that every time a new episode is dropped, you'll be the first to know. And hey, before you go, if you are looking to get some of this academic writing under your belt and outsourced so that it's one less thing freeing you up to enjoy more time with your family, hey, you're going to want to head over to writeonweb.com to see what kinds of resources and materials I have available for you. I will look forward to seeing you there, and I will look forward to seeing you here in our next episode. Right on.